In what's supposed to be their golden years, our kupuna are increasingly becoming the target of scams. Every few weeks, we bring you the latest scams to be on the lookout for. And tonight, it involves families who travel to the islands to look for victims.
It's rising dramatically. We just had some national experts on the traveling families come to Hawaii and explain some of the schemes going on. We're seeing those schemes here, and they're identical to what they're seeing on the mainland.
Police and prosecutors say the travelers are into fortune-telling, car repair and contractor scams, and more conning the elderly by playing on their sympathies.
They'll come in, make promises to do this, to do that, and they don't. They don't do they're not licensed contractors to begin with, which in and of itself makes it a crime. But when they do come in, they don't do a good job, or they don't use the proper equipment, the proper materials.
Prosecutors point out one family in particular, Marianne Woods, convicted of theft in 2009 for taking $2,400 from a senior, claiming she would exterminate termites from her home. No work was done. Woods is now charged with entering a home on this Kapahulu street without permission. According to court documents, Woods and two other women entered an unlocked door, and despite being told by the elderly owner to leave, Woods searched dressers in different rooms in the house. Michelle Stereo already pleaded guilty to 2 felony charges in the same case. Prosecutors and lawyers say both women are related to this woman, Katie Stereo, who prosecutors say played on the sympathies of an elderly man, convincing him to give her money to pay for an operation that wasn't needed. Stereo pleaded guilty to theft and attempted theft and paid $22,000 in restitution to avoid 10 years behind bars. Police say other travelers scam to look out for?
We've had people drive up to people's houses and say, you know what, I can redo your driveway for $500. Then what they'll do is they'll tear up the driveway and say, oh, I can fix it for $19,000.
Many times, once the money is given, police say the culprits are long gone.
That's one thing that we're finding with these traveling families, these self-proclaimed gypsies, is they don't stay here that long. They leave. And so that makes it hard to catch, because once the heat gets too hot, then they move on to another place for a couple of years. They come back eventually.
Now, HPD and Honolulu prosecutors want to remind you to check contractors' license numbers, and if the price they quote you is too good to be true, it probably is. And above all, don't give anyone money, especially someone you don't know, no matter how sad their story is. Now, in the case listed above, one of those women was arrested after the victim went to the bank to try to withdraw over $100,000. The bank called police on the spot, and the arrest was made. KITV is partnering with HPD and prosecutors to protect our kupuna, and we've got a link to the prosecutor's elder abuse website. Just go to the As Seen On section of KITV.com.